I want to tell you a story about something I found on the beach recently, an interesting find. And it just so happened that today I had some technical difficulties with my sunrise video, so I thought this is the perfect day to come inside and do this video because it's a little bit cold outside. And actually I'm in, having a nice steaming cup of love here, yum. And so I want to share this video with you about this little piece that I found over on the beach in the past couple of weeks. So I'm going to hold it a little closer to you and hopefully you can see it has writing on it. As you can probably tell, it looks like it's part of an old bottle. So that had me really curious because normally it has sharp edges, as you can see here. And normally I don't really go for Seaglass that has sharp edges. I'm really looking for something that's been in the ocean a long time and really smoothed down. But what this tells me, because this bottle is very old, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute, is that this bottle was probably in the ocean for a long time as a whole and got broken more recently, probably in one of the recent storms. So that's unfortunate. It would have been really cool to find the whole bottle, but I don't have that. But I'm actually going to show you a picture of what this whole bottle looked like. But first, let's take a closer look at this piece of the bottle that I found. So I tried to find a place where this was easiest to see. So this is what I saw when I was on the beach. I saw at the top there, R-I-C-H-A, and then H-U-D-N-U-T, that's pretty clear, Hudnut, New York. At the bottom there's some little flower type designs, and then it actually says 4 fluid ounces net. Now, this was pretty clear, so this gave me something to work with when I went to Google, and that's how I found out this information. So here's a picture I found of a bottle that looks very much like that piece of Seaglass I found, doesn't it? And here's a closer look and you can see it has all the same writing, it's just missing the fluid ounces. But what I found out is that that piece of glass that I found is probably over 100 years old, probably well over 100. How cool. And it turns out that there was a man who was born in 1855 in New York, Richard Hudnut, who got interested in cosmetics for women. And he actually had this idea of going to France and creating a company that would market these higher end cosmetics to women in France and in the United States. And he did. He started companies in both countries. And he made perfumes and compacts and all kinds of cosmetics. He came to be known as a perfumer, which is kind of a in those days, that was considered sort of a high calling and an achievement. And he ended up selling his company in 1916. And the company that he sold it to eventually, years later, became a part of Pfizer, which I think is interesting too. And after Richard Hudnut sold his company, he moved to France, to the south of France, to a small town called Juan-les-Pins. And this is very interesting to me because I've actually been to Juan-les-Pins. And that's because my father lived there as a child. My father was born in France. And Richard Hudnut died in Juan-les-Pins in 1928. And my father was born in 1928. So there is a cool little connection with this bottle for me, which I find so amazing. I'm constantly fascinated with the things I find on the beach. And sometimes I can get to the origin of them and sometimes I can't. But it's always interesting. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it interesting. And if you did, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet and turn on notifications so you can be notified when I post new videos. And by the way, I have a playlist called Things I Find on the Beach, so you might want to check that out. And also I'm going to put for the next video that you can watch from this, I don't know what they call that in the end screen. I don't know what's going to show up here or there, but a link to a video about some other cool Seaglass finds I had. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.